Hello, sweet crafters. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. It is time to play with ruffles. Isn't that so much fun? Pencils at hand, lots of glue, double-sided tape, score tape, ruler, pencils. Let's get going with ruffles. This is going to be so much information that I'm going to have to split it up into maybe 2 or 3 sections. The first 2 pages here will do, and then I will give you the exact sizes at the end of everything so that you know exactly what size things are. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. So we have that part, and then because I'm kind of breaking this up, it wasn't my intention to talk about ruffles for so much, but I ended up making so many pages. It was just so many pages. So it's the ruffles here as first. It's going to be text weight paper, copy paper. And then this one is also text weight paper, okay? It's the same paper. It's kind of a creamy blue, gray, and it has letters on it. It was an old Anna Griffin paper, but I'm not sure what it's called. It's right here. That's what I'm using for ruffles. And when ruffles start getting in your books, they get smushed. So they turn into pleats. Okay, that is this page right here. Same thing, same little stuff right here in the middle. And then this is our last ruffles, and this is ruffles with border stickers. Okay, so you open it up right here. This is border stickers that come with the fall tool paper and lots of flowers and finials and more flowers. So this was my inspiration. This is my son with his red electric bike. So here's our page. We are going to start talking about ruffles, and this is going to be part 2 because this is a more detailed page to work with, okay? Same thing that we worked with. You see how we did the mitering from last week, okay, right here. Okay, let's get started. So one of the most fun things that I love to do is play with double-sided paper. And I love these scrapbook frames that we got last year for crop at home. They fit just beautiful, and they help cut your paper just a perfect sharpness that I just can't seem to get with anything else. So what I love to do with it is just kind of use the exact same one and flip it over, and it's just like magic. Yeah, but I know I want a big frame. So because I have a large print as my background, I love to use a solid to kind of give some definition to the next picture that's going to be inside. So I'm kind of looking at this page right here. And so what I like to do, since I have 2 spaces here, is I'm putting this one in here. And then this frame right on top is how I'm going to work this there. And if you put one of these gorgeous frames right on top of it, it just gives it that extra oomph that our pages love. So this is light text weight paper, so you can start practicing. It's easier. And now we're going to put this part down. So on the face that you want to show on your ruffle is where you're going to put double-sided tape. Just like that. And I put it, this is a 1-inch, this is a 1-inch tiny ruffle. Now we're going to take the heavy double-sided tape up, just like that. Now I'm going to bring this around this way. Now also, you know that we're going to need to have more. I allowed 4 strips. And I am putting the first step. Now what we need for tools here are, what I'm using is 2 pencils. It needs to be 2 even tools is what we're using. So now we have this part down. And I'm just barely have a little tiny 1/2 inch. That's what I'm putting down. And then I'm going to bring my pencil around, and I'm putting the pencil as a spacer. That's how we're starting this. Okay. And then I'm bringing the pencil around and pressing down. So one pencil is our tool to keep our space. And then we bring it down again so that all our ruffles are as uniform as possible. That's why we are able to use a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, you can just use 2 pens that you can do. Do you see how that's working? Right there. Just barely. We're using 2 pencils, Ruffles. You know, it's just about practice. Now, when it comes to curves with our ruffles, we want to give our ruffle a little bit more leeway. You want the ruffle to be a little bit higher so that we can work with the curve. So now that I'm getting close to the corner, I'm going to wrap this around, and I'm going to make it maybe twice as big of the ruffle that it needs to be. And this is what I mean. You see that? I have a bigger loop there so that I'm able to miter around. And now I'm going around, and I'm using my pencil again. But I'm going to make a bigger loop because we need more room there. We need more room there to bring the pencil down. Right there. Okay, now let me show you. Here is my normal little ruffle going up and down, up and down. And now we have bigger loops for the corners. Pinching these corners. I'm going to show you how this looks here. You see all the little ruffles? Okay, the ruffles go all the way around. And now what we want to do is we went in and we pinch the little pieces together, just like that. Pinch the little pieces together. And then we hold and we bring this down. Okay, and I'm pinching these little pieces and I'm folding it down, and I'm folding it down so that we can lessen the thickness of the scrapbook. You know, that's starting to form. It's starting to form the little gorgeous little pleated ruffles that we love to see. And then on these big corners that are super high, we're going to kind of roll them a little bit and smash them down. That's my plan anyway. Still needs lots of practice so that we can get these just beautifully done. Okay, so we've done one frame with ruffles. There you go. Nice and easy. We have a very small strip here of a ruffle. This is going to be about 1/2 inch. I made it very small. I didn't want to make very big. We're just doing this to learn about what we're doing. So this is my page mat. The mat goes right here. So the mat is right here. It's going to go right on top. And then I want this itty bitty little ruffle on the edge just to give it a little more oomph. Okay. So we're going to practice on doing some ruffles. Is double-sided tape, the tear tape. And then I went very lightly around with a pencil so that when I take the tape off, I can see where and how I can stay straight with my paper. Okay, so we're going to go right here on this corner. And I would like to start, when I'm doing a frame, I like to start somewhere in the middle so that I don't start and end the ruffle in the corner. Okay, so it's going right here. So therefore the glue has to go also right here on this printed face, the printed face of the paper. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. And I'm putting my pencil down. And then we're going to put this one here. Okay. Okay, here's my ruffle. Now, once you get the hang of this, it works very easy. Roll over. So, see how easy that goes? You're using the ruffle, or the pencils, excuse me. We are using the pencils as our placement markings. So here, ruffle. Okay. Now, when we get to the corner, we want this normal little ruffle. You see the little ruffles that we're making there? Those little ruffles on this corner need to be a lot higher and taller so that we can make it into, okay. And here is okay, now we make another one. So sometimes you need at least 2 good sized loops on your corners. And then you can start making the next line. Okay, here is our frame and all our ruffles are done. Do you see how that works? All of those on top. And we made extra big loops, 2 or 3 on the edges so that we can come around. And now for me, the next thing is that we get these little frames and you pinch the edge and you bring it down. Pinch and bring it down, and pinch and bring it down. You see that? There we go. Okay, so now we have them pinched down. That helps not make the page so bulky. And now we go and play with these little corners to make them look as nice as possible. And I've noticed that I kind of just squish it from the side that I'm at and kind of play around with it. This is not double-sided paper that I have, so I kind of have to play around with where I can see the white part coming out. Now this is very light green paper, so it is not a horrible sight. Here we go. So now I get a pair of scissors and I kind of just barely snip the corners. So here is my little ruffle. Now I think we just have to practice, practice, practice. And this little one is going to go right on top, and it's going to kind of add a little drama, a little texture to a page that maybe wouldn't have so much texture without the little ruffle. Okay? Okay, now I'm putting my frame on top, just like that. Okay? Adding more texture, playing with our frame, playing with our okay, there we have our ruffle. Look how cute that's looking. Okay, so I have all of the corners mitered. Here we go. We have mitered corners. We have ruffles. Now what I want to show you is, since this paper is text weight, the ruffle becomes more of a pleat because it flattens out. So with the cardstock, you get more of a ruffle look. But once this text weight paper gets smushed, it becomes more of a box pleat. So this is just for us to practice and learn about what we're doing here and get ready for Create Crop at Home 2. Okay, so I am decorating my, adding my embellishments to my page. And so I want to add always some kind of background. So I'm using these little lace doilies before I just put a teacup on top. I like to add a doily or something to catch it, kind of like a placemat. So what I have here is I did some doilies, and now I have them cut in half because half of it goes underneath a piece of paper anyway. So I am having it right underneath here like this. Okay, and I lifted up that little piece up a little bit, and then I add this one to this side there. And then on this corner, so I always try to do groups of 3, even when it's a double page. And so I have here one this way and one this way. Okay. Okay, so now we have cute little doilies, sets of 3s. I just kind of start stacking them, and as I start to feel them out, I can remove, add as we go. Okay, here we are with our page all finished. We have practiced making ruffles. We have practiced making the mitering. So this whole page came out of practicing mitering cuts and ruffles. So the mitering cuts we use with the cutting board and a painter's tape, stuff that should be in your household. And then we also have the ruffles that you need two pencils or two cylindrical things. It could be Sharpies. It could be something fatter. If you want your ruffles to be thicker, fatter, then you just need two big fat smoothie straws or something, whatever works for you. So what I have here is my layout. I put tons of little teapots that my dear friend Annie Penn sent me. So I am super thrilled that I have all of these little things from her stash that she mailed me. And I am so thrilled. Love it so much. I had to place the order for the tea dyes. I didn't have that, and I think they're darling. So thank you very much, Annie. I had to go and buy them. Isn't that what we do for each other? Our friends just help each other spend our money. Isn't that fun? Okay, so on this, I also want to kind of show you what I do when I am planning a page layout. What I call my little bouquets of embellishments. I try really hard not to just set an embellishment down in a corner. When I have an embellishment I want to put down, then I like to put something on the background of it to make it stand out. I like to put a little flourish in that space. So you try to build that area up. And my favorite thing to do on top of all of that is to add some kind of little doily, something at the bottom that would kind of help land everything into that little space. And then on top of that, I need some texture. So a little bow in there is how I see my embellishments coming along. So, and I also like when I have a solid area here as a mat, but then a printed and then another print. And I like to separate that with some type of solid. So think about when you're putting your pictures down or different printed papers to change a little line of matting, a little gold there kind of helps move along to the next step. I always think of our house where you have tile and then you have a little threshold before you move to carpet. So that's what I kind of see as double. I have a colored paper here, and then I have the gold, and then I have another colored, and then I have a tiny little bit of solid right there. Kind of helps introduce what I'm kind of feeling. So that's how I see it, and I love to do embellishments doubled, multiplied. So I try to do a spoon. Let's see, Annie gave me these spoons, so I put a spoon, and then I'll put a colored one, a printed one right on top, and then I might make it land on something, some kind of tray. And so it's always building up the embellishment so that they're not alone. And then why not a little bow on top of that? So that's how I kind of see my embellishment, so that they kind of have a spot to land. I did here. And then I always like to work in areas of 3. So I have 3 bows so that I can specifically see areas for my eye to stop at. So I have a bow here. I have a bow here with a bunch of little embellishments. I have a bow right here with a bunch of little embellishments. Okay, so this is all set, and I want to show you my little sneak peeky spot. You know that I always struggle with not putting an interactive element into my page. Spoon lost. So I have a little space here. This little frame right here, I only use glue from this way and this way. So when you take this little ribbon. You can pull it up. Look at that. Isn't that just fun? So you can sneak more pictures in there. So from all the little leftover things that I had, I added and added more things to it. So you can journal right here. You can add an extra picture and you can sneak it into this little space. I even have a little doily that I left kind of up here so you can add more things to it. Maybe some ephemera that you might have for this event. You know, if you do a trip or something, you can sneak that right in there. And then I made a frame from this one, added more of those little loveliness in here. And then this one goes right there on top. So there is our page. Okay, loves, crafters, I am so happy to be here with you. I am hoping that you are learning something or explained a little bit better, or some different technique that you might not have thought about before, and you can go home and try it out and see how it works for you. Please leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe. I so like to hear from you, and it sure does help my channel to move on. I really, really appreciate it. Next part is going to be ruffles with the border stickers, okay?